My friend Bobby Flay is here, spending the entire day with me, which is so great.
I love it.
I don't really need to introduce him because everybody knows who he is.
That's so nice.
Do you remember your first show, Bobby's Grillin and Chillin? I just happen to have seen it. You were wearing sunglasses and Bermuda shorts. And
You saw this show?
I did.
I'm so sorry for you.
No, I thought it was great.
Hey, I'm Bobby Flay, and welcome to Grillin and Chillin. Okay, well, first of all, Grillin and Chillin, I'll just give you a little background on that. I know when that show was shot.
Yeah.
Because my daughter Sophie, who's 27, was 10 days old.
Oh, yeah.
And we shot it on the back lot of the Home Shopping Network.
Yeah.
And we shot 42 shows in 7 days. You have to remember,
That's
Ina,
insane.
before you got there was no editing.
Wow.
You know that?
No.
You had to shoot TV live to tape.
Wow.
That's why I shoot so fast these days. Same
Yeah.
thing, because I'm just
But you
always.
learned how to do it.
I learned how to do it that way.
Yeah.
So we had to hit the commercial breaks like to the T. And it was like me and this guy, Jack McDavid. He was like this country guy. I was
Yeah.
the city guy. And they threw some food on a picnic table and like, go.
So you get all these ingredients going and you let this cook down for a while. You want to let it cook for a good, 25 to 35 minutes.
Were you terrified?
I did have an anxiety attack the night before we started shooting.
Yeah, I would imagine.
But it was really bad television, but I really believe it was so bad that it was good.
I think people think you had a less traditional background, but the truth is you grew up in the Upper East Side of Manhattan.
Mm-hmm.
Your dad was a lawyer,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You went to Catholic school?
Yeah.
I can't imagine you
I
went
went
to
to every
Catholic
Catholic school.
Every Catholic
Every
school?
Catholic school
Why
in
did you get thrown
Manhattan.
out of all of them?
I just like to meet a lot of the different saints. St. Ignatius, St. Jean, St. Vincent, St. Monica's. There is absolutely no question in my mind, although it's not actually documented, that I had a learning disability at some level.
Oh, isn't that interesting?
When I was in high school, I did no work. I had no interest in opening a textbook. I went to a really good Catholic school called Xavier,
Yeah.
which is where my dad went. I got thrown out after the first year. And my father said to me, if you're gonna quit school, like you need to go get a job. Like this is not just go hang out in the street corner with your friends and play stickball. And so he was partners with a guy named Joe Allen.
Joe Allen had a fabulous restaurant in the theater district in New York,
Yeah,
which everybody went to.
My father was partners with Joe, and so he was helping him run that restaurant. And the busboy had like a sick grandparent that he needed to go visit for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And my father called me up and said, get here now. You have a job for 2 weeks. So I did it for 2 weeks, and the busboy came back, and I was literally walking out of the front door, and the chef said to me, hey, Bobby, you want a job in the kitchen?
I'm just going to cry.
No,
What that guy just did for you.
And so I took the job, and I started out, in the pantry, so to speak, making salad dressings and learning how to cut things. And I realized about 6 months into it,
Yeah.
I remember waking up, laying in bed right before work, and staring at the ceiling and thinking to myself, I can't wait to go to work today.
Oh, how fabulous.
So, a year and a half later, Joe Allen came to me and said, there's a new school opening up downtown called the French Culinary Institute.
Best school in America
Yeah.
at the time.
And he said, why don't you go down there and take a look? And I said, Joe, I can't go back to school. And he said, this is different. He said, this is not classroom work. You're gonna have knives and you're gonna cook. I decided that I was going to go to the school. And on the very first day that I was supposed to go in and sign my loan for the tuition, Joe handed me an envelope and said, this is from me. You owe me nothing. I just want you to have this. And he gave me my tuition.
What an incredible thing to do.
No, it was an amazing thing to do.
I'm a wreck just hearing it. I mean, that's really incredible because it really means everybody's got to keep going. You got to keep trying things. You got to be exposed to things that you didn't even know you were interested in. And the one thing that clicks is the thing you should be doing.
Well, that's the thing. You just never know when it's going to
You
happen.
never know when it's going to happen. After culinary school, you went to work at Jonathan Waxman's restaurants. It was the beginning of California cuisine in New York, and he was huge. What did he teach you?
Jonathan was the first person to teach me what good food was. Flavor and technique, respect for the ingredients. These are all things that we hear now every day.
Yeah.
It wasn't so much the case in the middle of the 80s. And I just remember even like just taking the corn off the cob. I was like, oh, wow, that's how you do it? I mean, you don't open up a bag? I mean, I was a kid of the 60s. My mother used to make Mexicali corn and, frozen corn in the bag, and that's
My
what it
mother
was.
used canned corn, which was worse.
Right. No, so
Yeah.
just the idea of this freshness and the way that you utilize it.
Tell me what it was like opening your first restaurant.
I was 25 when I opened Mesa Grill.
Wow.
I'll never forget the night we opened because it was the first day we went to war with Iraq the first time.
Wow.
I remember at 6 o'clock, my business partner, Jerry Kretschmer, watched me put out the very first plate of food. And he said, congratulations, we just went to war.
Oh, God.
And people were getting up out of their seats
Oh, wow.
in the middle of dinner and going home.
Oh, wow.
Because they wanted to see what was going on,
Yeah.
rightly so.
Yeah.
And so I was like, wow, I guess this restaurant's over. We just opened, you know? But we had so much good pre-press and prior to it that we got through that part of it.
And then it got rave review from the New York Times.
Life-changing.
It's just totally chaos.
I've had more dreams and nightmares about New York Times restaurant critics than anybody else. And they can literally, you know, they say make or break. They can make or break
literally
you.
make or break it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So what scares you?
Besides New York Times restaurant critics, what scares me? Wow, we're getting deep, Ina. I take solace in the fact that I have a skill that basically saved my life. I do get nervous sometimes that I'm not going to be as good a cook as I was yesterday, or that I'm going to be left behind in, you know, being relevant. Because everything that I do, travel, love, make a living, it all revolves around cooking. It's the way I show my adoration to people. I cook for them.
So what are we cooking together?
Simple dish, fresh pasta with anchovy butter and some chives.
Oh, that sounds delicious. I love anchovies, so you picked the right person.
Perfect.